Because we're forced to sell our oil at a discount, Canada's economy is losing an estimated $80 million a day.
Because they send us oil, we'll see. It depends on what the price is. If the oil is properly priced, if they treat us properly, which they don't, we will be able to make that up very quickly because we don't need the products that they have.
Donald Trump's recent statements regarding Canadian oil have taken a dramatic and contradictory turn, revealing a complex and evolving stance on U.S.-Canada energy relations. Previously, Trump had consistently dismissed Canadian oil imports as unnecessary, framing them as a burden on the United States and touting American self-sufficiency as a cornerstone of his energy policy. During his first term, he often highlighted the growth of domestic oil production in states like Texas and North Dakota, arguing that the U.S. could thrive without relying on its northern neighbor. Now, however, in a striking reversal, he is vocally urging the reconstruction of an oil pipeline to directly connect Canadian oil fields in Alberta to U.S. refineries along the Gulf Coast. This shift in rhetoric lays bare an underlying tension. While Trump seeks to project strength and independence by belittling a long-standing ally, he simultaneously acknowledges, whether explicitly or implicitly, that the U.S. energy sector remains deeply intertwined with Canadian resources. This contradiction has not gone unnoticed, and it has fueled intense debate in recent months. Trump's messaging has oscillated wildly, swinging between harsh criticism of Canada and pragmatic calls for enhanced energy cooperation. At one point, he famously declared during a rally in Ohio, "We don't need Canadian oil. We've got all we need right here in America," a statement that electrified his base and reinforced his image as a champion of American exceptionalism. Yet, in stark contrast, he has now pivoted to advocating for the revival of the Keystone XL pipeline, a massive infrastructure project designed to transport up to 830,000 barrels of crude oil per day from Canada's tar sands to American refineries. This about-face has stirred further controversy, exposing the complexities of North American energy dynamics and raising questions about Trump's true intentions. In a recent post on his Truth Social platform, Trump elaborated on this shift, lambasting the Biden administration for its decision to cancel the Keystone XL project in 2021. He wrote, "Our country is doing really well, and today I was just thinking that the company building the Keystone XL pipeline that was viciously jettisoned by the incompetent Biden administration should come back to America and get it built. Now, I know they were treated very badly by sleepy Joe Biden, lost jobs, lost opportunities, but the Trump administration is very different. We're talking easy approvals, almost immediate start. If not them, perhaps another pipeline company steps up. We want the Keystone XL pipeline built, and we want it now." This statement, dripping with characteristic bravado, reflects Trump's eagerness to tie the pipeline's revival to his broader narrative of economic resurgence and energy dominance. The renewed push for Keystone XL has reignited a fierce debate that has simmered for over a decade. Supporters, including many Republican lawmakers and industry leaders, argue that restoring the pipeline would create thousands of jobs, estimates range from 10,000 to 20,000 temporary construction positions, and bolster North American energy security by reducing reliance on more distant suppliers like Saudi Arabia or Venezuela. They point to the strategic advantage of sourcing oil from a stable, friendly neighbor rather than volatile regions overseas. Opponents, however, including environmental activists, indigenous groups, and progressive politicians, counter that the project poses significant risks. They highlight the potential for oil spills along the pipeline's 1,200-mile route, which would traverse sensitive ecosystems like Nebraska's Sand Hills and the Ogallala Aquifer, a vast underground water reservoir critical to agriculture and drinking water supplies in the Midwest. Moreover, the extraction of oil from Alberta's tar sands is notoriously carbon-intensive, producing greenhouse gas emissions up to 81% higher than conventional crude, a fact that alarms climate scientists and activists pushing for a transition to renewable energy. Adding to the complexity, significant regulatory and logistical hurdles remain. The original developer, TC Energy, formerly TransCanada, officially terminated the Keystone XL project in June 2021 after President Joe Biden revoked its permit on his first day in office. Since then, TC Energy has dismantled much of the pipeline's existing infrastructure, selling off steel pipes, abandoning construction sites, and redirecting its corporate focus toward other ventures, including renewable energy projects. Reviving Keystone XL would require not only new permits and environmental reviews, but also a massive reinvestment of capital and resources, potentially costing billions of dollars. Industry analysts question whether TC Energy or another company would be willing to take on such a gamble, given the shifting global energy landscape and growing pressure to decarbonize. Meanwhile, another layer of tension emerged on February 24, 2025, during a high-profile meeting between Trump and French President Emmanuel Macron at the White House. Amid discussions on global trade and security, Trump confirmed that the United States will proceed with imposing a 25% tariff on imports from Canada and Mexico, effective March 3, 2025. Standing beside Macron, he declared, "The tariffs are going forward, on time, on schedule, no delays, no excuses." This decision, which Trump has framed as a centerpiece of his America First economic agenda, targets a wide range of goods but notably spares energy products, which will face a reduced 10% rate, a tacit admission of Canada's critical role in U.S. oil and gas supplies. Trump elaborated, "Whatever they charge us, we charge them. Canada's been taking advantage of us for too long, but now they're going to start paying up." The announcement sent shockwaves through North American markets, with stock prices for Canadian exporters plummeting and U.S. manufacturers bracing for higher costs. In response, the Canadian government, led by Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, has vowed to retaliate with a robust counter-tariff plan designed to protect its businesses, workers, and overall economy. Canadian officials have made it clear that these countermeasures will take effect immediately upon confirmation of the U.S. tariffs and will remain in place until the restrictions are lifted. "Canada is committed to defending its economic interests," Trudeau said in a televised address from Ottawa. "We've been a reliable partner to the United States for decades, but we will not stand idly by while our sovereignty and prosperity are threatened. We're seeking a constructive resolution, but we're prepared to act decisively." The Canadian strategy hinges on reciprocal 25% tariffs targeting 155 billion Canadian dollars worth of U.S. goods entering Canada, a move that could disrupt cross-border trade valued at over $2 billion daily. Canada's counter-tariff plan will unfold in two carefully calibrated phases. The first, set to begin shortly after the U.S. tariffs take effect, will target approximately 30 billion Canadian dollars worth of American imports across multiple sectors. In agriculture, U.S. exports like beef, pork, and dairy products, staples of American farming, will face steep duties, as will fresh produce such as apples, oranges, and strawberries. Processed foods, a major U.S. export category, will also be hit, with tariffs applied to snack items like potato chips and candy, breakfast cereals like Corn Flakes, and soft drinks from brands like Coca-Cola and Pepsi. Canadian consumers will feel the pinch in other areas too, as tariffs extend to alcoholic beverages. Think Kentucky bourbon, Tennessee whiskey, California wines, and craft beers from across the U.S. The consumer goods sector will see duties on household appliances, washing machines, refrigerators, microwaves and dishwashers, personal care products, shampoos, soaps, and cosmetics, and apparel, jeans, sneakers, and winter coats. Industrial materials including steel beams, aluminum sheets, plastic polymers, rubber tires, lumber planks, and paper rolls will round out this initial wave, affecting construction and manufacturing industries on both sides of the border. The second phase, scheduled for March 25, 2025, after a public consultation period, will escalate the response by targeting an additional 125 billion Canadian dollars in U.S. imports. This phase will strike at the heart of the American automotive industry, imposing tariffs on passenger cars, light trucks, and auto parts like batteries, tires, and electrical wiring harnesses, products heavily traded between Detroit and Ontario. The aerospace and defense sectors, vital to U.S. industrial might, will also face restrictions, with tariffs on aircraft components, radar systems, and maintenance services. Additional agricultural goods, corn, soybeans, wheat, rice, and processed meats like bacon and sausages will join the list, alongside an expanded range of consumer and industrial products. Perhaps most provocatively, Canada is considering export restrictions on critical minerals such as lithium, nickel, and cobalt, which are essential for manufacturing electric vehicle batteries and other high-tech goods. The U.S. relies heavily on Canadian supplies of these minerals, and any disruption could ripple through industries already grappling with supply chain woes.